Yes, 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 yes. Once again, we're back. Raw report in the building. Took a minute, but yo, like we back. Um, as you know, guys, we've been out here like suffering,
Yes.
suffering. We couldn't even run our show, man.
No, but we're happy that you guys are following still and that you're keeping up with the latest and that you're back here with us once again.
Right. Yeah, we here to enlighten you guys about, the events that's going on right now. We got to be very serious about what's going on right now. A lot of people are taking it for a joke.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a joke. Yeah, but as we move on, every time that we're on the Raw Report, we got to start off with a mix.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So we got like no other podcast does it. Raw Report does it real big. We got Jinx in the building. Woo! And he gonna start off the Raw mix for y'all first. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, like we do the Raw mix. Start off a little short, quick mini mix, 5 minutes. You know what I mean? We get into it, get out of it, do it like this. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a little old school move right now, so we're gonna take you back, give you some of these old school.
Back on that gangster shit, on my way, OT to flip them bricks, and that big body bench, you know it's a 6. That's your bitch on my dick, I stack with chicks, and I'm. Now cut for me, mommy. Up.
Hey.
Just cut
for me, mommy. Just blaze. Okay.
Y'all know how we do. If you remember these tunes, yeah.
Hey, my baby mama.
Hey.
Let's go. Come on. Let's get the show started. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. All right. Oh shit. Y'all know how we do. So on Raw Report Mix Show, we just getting started, right? What we tell them this right now. Yeah.
I put my lifetime in between.
Yeah. Real DJs in the house, Cream Team.
That's right.
I ain't concerned with them, nigga. I pop more.
We got a hot topic for you guys today.
While the sun's out and scolds
And we just cruise through the mixes, it's like some mini mix.
Fuck your life. Hop on my 98 dirt bike. You try to stop mine from growing, I make your blood stop flowing.
What?
Can I play some of that Mob Deep? You know how we do. Let's go. Raw Report Mix Show. You know how we do. Coco, Primetime, Cream Team, Brizzy. That's how we do, right? All right, let's keep it going. Oh. Y'all remember those tunes, we're just getting started right now. Yeah.
Yo, Brizzy, I see you, boy.
Hey.
Get the fuck up.
Simon says.
Fuck up. Throw your hands in the sky. Music in the back, sipping yak.
And what?
Girls, rub on your titties. Yeah, I said it, rub on your titties. New York City Gritty Committee, pity the fool that action in the midst of the calm, the witty.
You know what I'm saying? We're real today, no fake people in our circle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, we keep it raw.
All right.
Who's real?
And when we come, we do it different. Cream Team in the building. Let's go. You know how we do. We gotta switch up a little bit, right?
You won't get away from the wrath that comes with atrocities.
Yeah.
You see, that's the voice of Wayne Wonder, right? But when we play our remixes, we do it different, like this. Whoa. Spragger. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Take it back a little bit. A little break from trap music. Oh.
We from the Bronx, New York. Shit
Happens.
Let us spark the place. Half the niggas in the spark got a scar on their face. It's a cold world and this is ice. Half a meal for the charm, nigga, this is life. Got the phantom in front of the building, Trinity, yeah. 10 years, Bill, they still figure me bad.
Whoa.
It's falling.
Outside, it's like showbiz.
These days lie, no lie, and you know this. Next 10,000, oh my.
And we keep it moving, right? Let me give you another remix right now. Notorious B.I.G. You know what I'm doing. Whoa. Do one last before we get into the topic. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because today, you know, we're talking about some vaccines and those kind of things. You know what I mean? It's gonna get heated. It's a controversial topic. You know what I mean? So I'll play one more, and we get inside the discussion, get inside the topic, get inside the debate. You know how we do. Buju, come on. All right. It's all about the Raw Report. You know, we get raw. Let's go. Come on. All right. So what do you say? You want to get into the topic?
Let's do it.
We gonna get raw right now.
Real raw. We keep it real raw.
Right. Once again, if y'all didn't know, we live on the Raw Report Mix Show right now. I got the lovely Coco Leia beside me right here. And right.
Yeah, we started already.
We getting her started already.
He gets the bell, so I get the horn.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, speaking of the bell, make sure you subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hit that button.
That's right.
For more videos and, get our subscriptions going. You know what I'm saying? On my left, we got the one and only on 1 and 2's Cream Team Sound.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
everybody. What's up?
Yeah. Oh, here she go with that.
You're going to wish you gave me the bell.
Damn, here she go with the the horns and stuff. But yeah, as we keep it moving though, want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hit the comments. We're going to get into a real big discussion right now, dealing with the vaccines or whatnot. If you didn't know, hit us up at also on our Instagram, right? Raw Report _ Mix Show. Hit us up on that. We're on Facebook as well, Raw Report Mix Show. Mm-hmm. And yeah, YouTube, you already know what time it is.
That's right.
As we move on right now, we're going to get into a quick facts with the one and only Coco.
All right, guys. So before we started this show, we put a poll up just to see what people's opinions were on vaccines. Okay, specifically the COVID-19 vaccine. If we think we need to have a COVID-19 vaccine. So it was really close. Okay, I was actually very surprised, but it was 55% of you guys thought that it was a good thing, and 42% said no, we don't want that. So
damn,
it was quite close.
That was like a tug of war.
Yeah.
Did we get any comments as to one way or the other?
I've gotten a bunch of comments in my DMs. Right. Most of those were hell no's.
But then they voted yes, though.
Hey, you know what I noticed? Sometimes people look at stories a lot and they don't comment, and then there's other people that will participate in the poll or not participate and comment, or vice versa. So
yeah,
hey, but just some fun facts. We got a tad of history for you. Briz is touch more on that later, but a fun fact, I don't know if it's a fun fact, but that's what we're gonna call it.
You know what I'm saying?
So in 10th century China, people would inhale smallpox scabs.
Damn.
To contract a mild form of the disease to obtain immunity.
Yo.
Do you hear the crickets? Because I did.
Yeah, they're in here for sure. Because China, like, I don't want to get into the race thing or whatnot, but we already know what China is all about. And, it's just getting to a point now that even just the other day they had, like, a party or some shit.
Okay.
Was that in China, right?
That was all over. That was like in the States. That's like every...
Wuhan? Oh, wow.
But then that's also every city in the States too.
Right.
So.
Right. That is fact.
China's like so big, and then the States is big too, right? But they got it like every city, every little county's got their own little house party.
That's
I seen
so
like
true.
mansion parties going on,
Beach
school
parties. School parties. That's so true.
But that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Where we're taking this so heavy down in the West, right? And they still playing around like nothing's happening. You know what I'm saying?
But they've also kind of, I don't know about China, but like some other places like Korea, Japan, and stuff has like flattened their curve a lot more than Europe and North America. You know what I mean?
True.
So
right.
That's why they have a lot more open, because they don't have the cases like us. But
yeah, due to that, like I just feel like it's a lot of nonsense going on with how they're taking it, you know, because this is very serious. And like at first I was even the one to be like, yo, this is bogus.
Yeah.
But at a point you got to understand that too many people are dying, and then you know there's no vaccine, which we're going to talk about, and then also there's a lot of things going on with like children as well. I found out in where was it? Was it Denmark or something? One of the countries. They found out that a 3-year-old just passed away from it. You know, the first.
Where
child.
was that?
well, kids aren't immune from it, right?
I just forget where. Like, I'm gonna get back to it though.
States have like enough kids' deaths already, right? Kids aren't immune. They're just less. They're less likely to die from it, but they're not immune. You know, they're more likely to get it, but don't like show symptoms or don't get too bad, right? But let's move on. What other trivia you got here?
Okay, so this next one, mid to late 1700s, during the smallpox outbreak in Boston, Puritan church minister Cotton Mather led immunization efforts in Boston during the Revolutionary War.
Did they say what they're using for immunization?
There's more on that Briz is going to touch on.
Oh, okay, cool.
But that was just one little part of that. So I'll touch more on exemptions later, as we know. But one statistic that I thought was insane was there's something called vaccine hesitancy, right? Which are parents who become more and more hesitant on whether vaccines are safe and effective for their children. So 0.8% back in 2006, hesitancy for measles, mumps, and rubella. 2019, 1.72%.
Okay, so
of a difference. Cool. So, I mean, over the years, people have definitely become more and more hesitant. So, that's all for fun facts today, guys.
That was very fun.
All right. It's a little informative. So, we're going to start with Briz touching on a few things. Okay, so we're going to move on to let's discuss first the views on vaccines with Jinx.
Okay, and we're gonna. So, I mean, I put a post up the other day, just kind of not necessarily about vaccine, but it was about the whole corona and stuff. And it seems people are really, really polarized. You know what I mean? It's weird. It seems like they're either really for vaccines or really not for vaccines. Like,
yeah,
I don't see a lot of people that are like kind of maybe yes, maybe no, whatever. Like,
right.
Tell me, like, it depends on what day of the week it is or whatever. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, it seems people are really polarized, which something I was always trying to figure out why. And also anybody that's out there watching like live right now, join us in the chat.
That's right.
Or if you're watching the show afterwards, leave a comment down below and let us know why, what you think and why you think it's either good or bad or why you feel so strongly. You know what I mean?
Right.
But wanted to bring up a topic of, once they have a vaccine and it's been tested, it's been approved, by like multiple governments, preferably governments that have good regulations, like European ones, Canada, Japan, Korea, Australia and stuff. If how people think in regards to making it mandatory or not mandatory in regards to your country, whatever country you're tuning in from, and then how that would affect travel and business. Because if certain countries have it mandatory, some don't have it mandatory. I'm just curious what your thoughts are regarding if they do it like that, like how will that affect? Like if you have a business meeting now in Japan, and Japan says everybody's got to have it, your country doesn't have it. What do you do? Or what do you guys think? What do you think the situations will be, or the outcomes will be?
What I think the outcomes will be, I think it's going to cause a huge problem, first of all, because when you start dealing with different governments, it's difficult because, like you said, like let's say we don't have it mandated here to travel, but then if you want to go to Europe, you can't step into Europe off that plane until you have a vaccine. What do you do? Right? So that's and even when it comes to exemptions, those differ all around as well too.
That's true, yeah.
So I definitely think it's going to cause an uproar, but I also think that there will be people that probably completely disagree, but forfeit or give up, like just give in. Sorry.
Oh, and they'll just
say, you know what, I'm just going to take it because if I can't fight it, then what do we do?
Or right? I got a business meeting and I'm gonna make another.
And I gotta make it
$2 million. Let me just take it and
right.
Well, then I'll pose. Prime time. What do you think then?
Oh, hold on one second.
Oh, well then, Coco, I'll ask you this then. How do you think, or what do you think a way that you could, a way to kind of smooth that over to make it a bit more easier on people that feel everybody in their country should have it, people who feel I don't think I should have it. In regards to, it's a global economy, a global world, right? So it's not like back in the day where it takes a week to cross the Pacific or something. So what do you think, some steps that they could do that, would make it a little easier for people that, with those two
That's so difficult.
polarized things,
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, you chime in whenever you want because this is a tough one right here. So what do I think people can be incorporated to make people more comfortable on both ends of the spectrum? So, I mean, there's people who also have different views on masks as well, but this is so far beyond that.
That's a whole nother.
Holy, because vaccines, I mean, what if you're a person that doesn't believe in vaccines and you have to travel? How can you be made more to feel more comfortable if you don't want to take it, right? So I just answered his question with another question. That's when it's a tough one. Like, I would think that, first of all, if there are vaccines that are mandated for that reason, that an information package could be something that's put in order for the people who are taking the vaccine. So if you do want to travel and you have to take this vaccine, here's some information about that vaccine before you even take the vaccine. Because I think that's a thing too. A lot of people just go and take vaccines or give their kids vaccines, but they don't actually know what's in the vaccine. What the possible health effects are, what the effectiveness is, how much it was tested, if you can find out that information. So I always think that the more information, the better.
So you're saying you think they should have it more... just more transparency, like more availability. Like, because I mean, they usually have it, but it's not for certain people. It's not the easiest to find. Like, if you're just Joe Blow that's not really into science too much or whatever, it's like, how am I gonna? Or some old person or some younger person. How are they?
Well, my thing is, I think that everybody, regardless of how resourceful you are, you just have your own responsibility to get the info. If you don't get it, I mean, like. You know what I mean? Like, it's your job. Unless there's a language barrier and your kids have to help you with that, that's different. But everybody has a responsibility to get their own info. However, if it's mandated to not to have a vaccine in order to travel, then I would think that, every person that's getting that vaccine is given information about that vaccine.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think it's good also to have like a kind of like a main source for that information, so people aren't just, because then everybody's gonna have get information from different places, and then you're back to square one again. So it should be like an official central place where you're getting it, not just for one government, but just in general, or whatever the top scientists of certain countries or whatever.
I think that's a good idea. Let's say they had to get vaccines. Let's say I wanted to travel, and they said, hey, you need a vaccine. And whomever that was that told me that from an airline or wherever, they could direct you. So now that they know you want to travel and you need the vaccine because you don't have it yet, they could easily say, well, here's the place that you can go find that information before going to get your vaccine. You need to do that before you travel. I think that'd be pretty sick, because then you'd be directing everybody the same, neutral place or central place to get that information. And then, at least people are getting that information. Whether that info is true. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. But you'll have less people kind of arguing over,
right.
I read this somewhere, I read that somewhere. Well,
yes.
I've seen something in some Japanese thing, but then I seen something in some Swedish thing, and it's like, okay, we've got a centralized, coherent message coming out.
Like you have a list.
My thing is
all the places.
My thing is like this.
He's going in.
Yeah, I'm
gonna get raw.
Yeah, I know me. But despite the coronavirus, right? Mm-hmm. Every year they tell us to take the flu shot. You know what I'm saying?
Which I don't do.
But it's not mandatory, I don't think, though.
Right.
Yeah.
But then corona is mandatory because of the severity, right? I'm saying.
Well, it's not yet, man. It's just a hypothetical if they made it mandatory.
But that's what I'm saying, though, because the flu kills people too, right?
Kills more, by the way.
Right. And people don't even know that. So my thing is like this. We're told to go get the flu. When you get there, the doctor.
Flu shot.
Yeah, the flu shot. Thanks. We're
back alley. We're in the back alley selling flu to people. You have an enemy you don't like. You have an enemy you don't like. We got a vial of flu right here. Just load it up in your dark oven.
But
sorry, Bruce.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Sorry.
Because my point is exactly that, right? That they put things in front of us. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody has no answers, right? Mm-hmm. But they had the question of letting us know that it is this, that, and the third, right? Back to what I'm saying about the flu. Mm-hmm. You go to the doctors. My doctor will be like, "Do you want it or not?" Mm-hmm. I say no, right? Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about the vaccine, we're talking about the coronavirus. There's going to be steps put in place just now, right? Mm-hmm. What is this? The third cycle or whatever?
Stage 3.
Right.
We're in Toronto, so just for people watching.
Oh, right.
Somewhere else, we're in stage 3
right. We're in stage 3 in Toronto.
Which
right.
might not even be the same.
Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah. There you go.
And that might not even be the same stage 3 as in somewhere else.
Exactly.
You might be even at stage 1.
Right.
Negatives.
Right. Which is another problem.
Our stage 3, though. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. Which is another problem. You see what I'm saying? Mm. It just adds up to places that nobody knows what's going on. And then we have, so much confusion, like I said before. The confusion is what is really getting to me. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, doctors out there putting themselves on the front lines and all that and trying to get a vaccine done. But then we get the flu shot. The people that do get it, they get it, and then they got to get it the next year, and the next year, and the next year, right? So I'm saying when the vaccine comes out, is it going to be the same process?
It better not be. Trust and believe. Let me tell you, I'm going to go live in a bush.
Yo, that's scary.
It depends because
my son and I are going to rustle in them bushes.
And stuff like that. You only get that once, right? So some
that's what I'm saying.
With the animals.
I mean, I think that's another thing. But like you're saying, is they need that centralized information spot so people know.
Right. Because when we're talking about fear,
that's a really good point.
Yeah. When we're talking about fear and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're putting towards us. Like, here, take this. And listen, and you guys got to go about it this way, right? But then we forget that they don't have anything in set stone. You know what I'm saying? Just the fear part of it.
And there's also bad actors on both sides. So there's people like on the side saying don't take it, using fear, and then there's some other people that maybe like say a drug company or something saying to take X vaccine if there's more than one vaccine.
That's what I'm saying.
They're a bad player on the other side. Right. So you kind of need like the the neutral, non-biased place to get that information.
And we don't even want to go there with the pharmaceutical companies, right? Because y'all been making money from time. Yeah. So this is another place where
crumble.
Exactly. This is another place where they said, "Yo, I don't know if they said, quote, I'm not quoting nothing, but at the same time, it seems like this is towards money."
Yeah.
In a sense.
Money, power, and control.
How is all these scientists going to work on this, right? Not to say like I know anything about science, but Science been around so long,
You have a brain.
and it has evolved.
Right.
Right.
It always evolves.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So from a point from its phase 1 to phase 3, they already know what we should do. Like I don't get that. But then you don't have no vaccine.
Well, I don't think they know what we should do. I think they tell us what to do based off of what their findings are so far, right? So if they found something totally different, they would obviously say, okay, people doing this, people shouldn't do this because you may have a better chance. But there's certain things they do know. Being close to people,
right,
spitting on them, you can probably get the virus from that, right?
And
so whereas there's other things where it's like, the time it lasts on different surfaces, that they don't have I don't think they have the full data on that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So
another thing I wanted to point out real quick, that kids don't like putting it on their face, the mask.
Nope.
There's a lot of kids that are not going to put it on their face, especially if they're outside, right?
A lot of adults.
They're not going to care.
Adults too, yep.
They're definitely not going to care.
Well,
so where is it? First of all, the schooling situation's coming into effect. I see a lot of schools getting closed down, getting demolished right now. A lot of people don't know that. Then when it comes to the classroom space and the children that don't want to put it on, and there's going to be those children, I'm not doing it. Call my mom. You know what I mean? So then when is it ever going to be a point that it ever stops then?
Well, I could, just to be kind of a devil advocate, someone could say, well, if they all took vaccines, then you wouldn't have to be wearing masks because you'd be immune from it. Right. Considering you have a vaccine that's tested and approved.
That's why the
and
masks
working, right?
came first.
But like they say, a vaccine usually takes about 3-5 years before they
can take
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Get like 3 to 5 years before.
She's on it. She's on
5 years before you can get to the point to even get it approved. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So and sometimes
I don't know what Russia was on, but we'll get there.
Like, I mean, they're saying when they're saying 1 year, 2 years,
they're Russian.
You can tell they're just trying to calm people. They're probably just trying to calm the stock markets down, so people feel, oh, you know what, they're gonna go back to work soon because the vaccine will be here in 2 years. But realistically, I think the fastest they've ever got one out to market is maybe like 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Don't quote me on that, but it's not like a 1-2 year type thing. Like the fastest is something like 4 years and that may not even be like a super serious vaccine, like a vaccine for a super serious virus. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I find very puzzling? I'm just gonna slide this one in, okay?
Sure.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah, do that.
So, if the flu kills on average 20,000 people per month every single year, sometimes it's 26,000, 22, whatever. Average is 20,000. Okay. And we are voluntarily taking the vaccine, it's not mandated. Then how come a virus that has 0.26% death toll, they're going to mandate a vaccine?
Well,
wait.
I would answer that saying, like, I don't know the full stats and everything, but it could also be regarding the type of people. Like, so if it's the flus are killing, that many more people, it could be, people with certain pre-existing stuff.
Conditions?
And also they say I think the issue with the COVID, I don't think it's as much that it's killing people, but I think it's that it spreads so much easier than, I think it spreads more than a flu. So while the flu has a higher death rate, I think it doesn't spread as easily, and now they say they have like super spreaders of COVID-19. So there's some like churches or some probably schools or whatever where one student there infects a ton of people. You know what I mean? Whereas I don't think the flu, like with one person, I don't think they have super spreaders with the flu. So I think it more goes one person, one person, one person. Yeah, one person and one person to one person, as opposed to one person to 50 people. So I think it's more the spread than the death rate, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
But also, y'all need to stop traveling.
Why?
No, because
traveling's wicked.
No.
They need to stop traveling. Y'all out there, everyone that's traveling right now, you guys gotta stay put, man, because it's spreading like wildfire.
Well, a lot of countries you can't travel anyways. Yeah.
Yo.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even like traveling in the first place, bro.
That's why our border's locked to the Americans.
Yeah, y'all stay out. Especially Trump. Sit your ass down, bro. But yeah, like once again, like I don't like traveling, and I keep my circle small, which I think a lot of people should be doing now. None of these parties, y'all. I don't know why is any. I'm a DJ. He's a DJ, but we're not out like where flooded people are. Like that's the problem, you know. People don't understand to stay put. It's like they have ants in their pants, bro. I don't get it.
True.
People are trying to live. That can you imagine? Like, look at how everything went. We were told to quarantine for 14 days or quarantine for a while, and then like people are going nuts. There's some people that are able to be productive and creative and stuff, yeah. But then there's other people that that I've talked to, whom I've talked to, and they're bored as heck at home.
Oh, like 6 feet, 6 feet.
And well, yeah, but that, I know exactly.
They don't know what to do, right? Because some people aren't as creative. That's just how it is. Some people aren't as imaginative and stuff, and
we're social.
Yeah, and they get crazy.
So we kind of need.
We have to
the interaction with people. I think there's probably more people in the world that want interaction than want to be introverts.
But you know how they're saying, just put on a mask. So
listen, I want to say something about this mask.
Right.
No, you continue. I cut you off first.
No, go ahead. I just said put it on.
I said mask, and I'm like,
I'm just saying, like, put that shit on. You know what I'm saying?
So I have a question. Okay, so they said that it's airborne. Okay, it's been said that it's airborne.
It's droplets, but yeah.
Okay, so I saw a girl wearing this clear mask at Square One the other day. I was very confused, only because I know there have been people who have invented the clear ones that like actually go close to you, like all around too, right? But then this one,
mean like a mini kind of.
It's like a mask, but it's clear.
Oh, okay.
Like completely clear, and it covers so that you can see the mouth. Because some people, like myself, if you have a mask on, my hearing is not the best. So I actually have to see your mouth. It makes it easier. That sounds so funny, right? But when I saw this girl with the mask, this mask was completely out from her face. Like it had some kind of side part.
Yeah, they're getting crazy now,
off
man.
the face and off the chin. I'm like, buddy, what if I came over there and sneezed horked all over you?
Bro,
that's not gonna save you. You're gonna have to need a windshield wiper for that thing. That's all. That's gonna be good.
Yo, that's another thing because the money situation is the issue too. Because everyone want to make their own masks, make their own styles.
Yes.
Put prints on it. Sell it for.
How do you know which one's the best?
Well, I think,
and why is it even the best?
N95 Max don't work either, buddy.
Also, I think they, like we're saying about the central place to get information. There should be just like if you go you buy certain food and it's got that seal of approval that this is say grade A beef or something. You know what I mean? Or this is whatever halal whatever.
Yeah, right. People get crazy.
It should be something certain mask. The mask should be it's got the stamp that this is like a legit. Safety mask. Yeah. Then before I'm there making masks out of old socks or something or something that's not really, you know what I mean? People, and a lot of the stylish ones, the people that wear stylish, I don't think. I mean, they're better than nothing, but they're not. They're not going to protect. They're not the best. They're not. They lack what the real ones can do. See, my thing is, regardless of my beliefs of this COVID-19 and masks and whatever is in relation to it, my thing is if there is a pandemic or whatever you want to call it, okay? If there's something serious that exists that the government calls for wearing masks, I would think that right off the bat, as soon as they know, okay, we need to wear masks, figuring out which ones do get worn. Which ones are the ones that need to get worn. And for what? And for what reason, right? Yeah, because I actually have seen diagrams on I can't remember where it was. It wasn't on the TTC. Yeah, it was on the TTC actually. There was a picture of 3 different diagrams. One was a mask. They were like little cartoon diagrams. One was a mask. One was what looked like a scarf over the face, and one was a handkerchief over the face. So right there, you're telling people that you can wear whatever you want on your face. You'll be protected. But how is that true?
Those blue masks too, right on the box, it says that it does not protect you against viruses or COVID-19.
Hey, yeah,
and people are wearing those masks everywhere, and they're looking at me like, why aren't you wearing a mask? And I have to tell them, like, the shit on your face, excuse me, doesn't even work. And you want to come tell me about myself? Why don't you do some information searching?
But also remember, the masks aren't to protect yourself; it's to protect other
That's
people,
what they
right?
say.
Yeah.
But they also went back and forth between asymptomatic people are contagious, and then they're not, and then they went right back. So my thing is, I understand that, you know, when there's things that are new, you have to, it's like trial and error, right? And I totally understand. Whether I believe in this or not is irrelevant. You have to go through trial and error, and I get that, especially if it's something that they say they've never seen or new or whatever. Yeah. So it just regardless, in general, that would make sense.
So in that sense, are we dead?
Well,
like, are we dead?
It's hard to believe stuff when you're given different information,
right?
You know what
because
I mean?
when something new comes along, right? Where's the protection? Like in a sense, you know, there's doctors doing what they have to do, police officers, etc. Right? For different circumstances. We get a bombing here. Oh, who did it? Boom, they find out. But like, where was the protection before the bomb dropped? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, even with that being said, where's the protection before these things happen? Before it became Corona. You know what I mean?
Well, I think one of the things is like certain things. I mean, if it's never been around before, you can't really know that you're gonna need to be protected by that, right? Like the Native Americans in North America didn't know big boats and guns are gonna come.
But hold on,
you know.
But hold on, iPhones, right? Samsung smartphones. We never thought we would see this in the 80s, ever. You know what I'm saying? And look what it does now. Like, that's the point. You know what I'm saying? They knew they're always a step ahead of us. But then again, they don't want to tell us the full story.
But then sometimes though they do, but they don't. Like, look at 9/11, right? They said you better look out because there's going to be not the terrorists, but you know, the American government was even had like reports saying, you know, there's going to be an imminent whatever the word is, attack soon. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They never listened, and then boom, they got an attack. They were saying there's going to be another pandemic because it's kind of, you know, comes every, you know, 80 years, 120 years. So they're like, you know, there's probably one that may come, or even if it doesn't come now, there's going to be another pandemic out there because diseases are out there. The more people are, like you said, the more people are traveling.
Right.
The more people are doing different things.
Y'all stay your asses at home.
Yeah, and the more stuff. Therefore, they didn't.
Or in your country, that is.
But they didn't really like, even to say they didn't have a even to say the science to prevent it. They didn't even really have their shit together on if it happens. How are we gonna, like, you know, planning and like there's a central place that like you're saying, different countries are doing all different things as opposed to when there may be a virus that's going to come sometimes. Sorry. What are we going to do when it happens? Do we have a top person from each country and then another committee, this and this? But instead it was just a free for all. And look at the States. Oh they weren't prepared at all. So
I'm glad we live in Canada. I'm just saying, bro.
Right.
That's another thing. I think people are know what they're doing, but they don't you know, they don't listen to get the shit together to say, oh, if there's a terrorist attack, how are we gonna
preventative measures. You're being
and even
proactive.
And even when it happens,
took me a while.
And even when it happens, how are we gonna deal with it on that at that point? Like, who's reporting the who?
Damage control, guys.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Katrina, like, what the hell?
Oh my god. Yeah.
That was another one where they're like, okay.
Oh my god, that was a tragedy.
Tents are sitting in locked up and people are dying in the stadium is like.
That's terrifying. Well, we're gonna have some other details that I just wrote down that we'll touch on later. But right now, let's get to Briz,
our producer.
Yep, our executive producer over here.
What up?
Yeah.
What up?
We got the Brizzy in the house.
We got Briz in the house.
Yeah. We here, man.
All right.
I don't even
right here.
Mic,
right here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't get used to this. I'm not really.
She forcing it.
Post right now, so
she forcing the issue.
Place.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's
shout out to Akil in the chat. We've been talking back and forth.
What's up, Akil?
Shout out to Akil.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
been talking a little bit, So yeah, I'm just gonna
Awesome.
drop some facts. I guess you can call them fun facts. I don't know. So I remember earlier talking about the 10th century China, right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit more about the smallpox outbreak in Boston. So Cotton Mather, he led the immunization efforts in Boston, right?
Yeah.
During the Revolutionary War. But the thing is that he learned, I don't think you guys even knew this. He learned the method. Sorry, it's all good. He learned the method from a black physician named Onesimus, who was actually stolen from Africa, enslaved, and then given to Mather as a gift.
Black Lives Matter.
Don't
So even when it comes to vaccinations, like it has its inceptions with slavery and whatnot, which is kind of crazy. And pretty much Onesimus, he told Mather about the inoculation steps practiced in Africa. So basically there are two steps. One of them was to take a sample from the infected person and use that sample. So at the time it was smallpox.
Right.
Taking that sample and putting it into a non-infected person via scratching it into the skin or literally getting a thorn and putting it into the skin. So the intention really was to introduce smallpox to healthy individuals to create an immunity.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and the method is actually used to inoculate American soldiers during the war. The crazy thing about it was that Mather received all the recognition, all the accolades, all of the notoriety for it, while Onesimus remained a slave. So if it wasn't for people digging for the information,
Yo,
truth,
man.
We wouldn't know.
we wouldn't know about Onesimus.
Familiar? Huh?
It's crazy.
Sounds like it's still happening.
It's been happening.
Of
It
course
started
it is,
a long time ago, and we're still here.
You know what I don't understand though? Like I know equality is one thing, but it's like once again, I'm not gonna move too much into it. But look, we're dropping facts once again. Like facts can't leave the brain. Once it's there, it can never leave.
Yep.
Like if it was true, it can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand where people feel like they could go against what really happened.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, if you really think, we're talking about the 1700s, right? So like
Right.
slavery was like a norm then, right?
Right.
It was a good thing.
But even
it was like even in laws,
Right.
So
Yep.
I mean,
That's how a lot of economies were based off slavery.
Exactly.
It's free labor, right?
Big
so
time,
we're talking
yeah.
about the 1700s from a 2020 perspective, right?
Right.
So I mean,
even with that said,
No.
when someone does something, they acknowledged it though.
yeah.
Like he did it, right? And he took that from him. So he acknowledged that anyways. That's
Yeah.
the problem. And he didn't give him his credit. That's the issue that continues to happen today.
Yep.
That's a fact.
Yep.
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean?
So let's move forward.
Oh, wow.
1796. So we're going to talk about British physician Edward Jenner.
Wow.
So milkmaids, some of the maids that were in charge of taking care of the cows, and
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they were known for never getting smallpox. But I think
Wow.
because they're always with the cows, they had cowpox.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like name it whatever you want. Like
And those are the ones in Europe, right? That
This
they
is
used to they work
yeah.
close contact with the wildlife.
Yeah,
Or,
exactly.
yeah.
This isn't like the United Kingdom, like in Britain and whatnot.
damn.
So what Jenner did was when he noticed that, he used the cowpox infected pus from an infected person to inoculate an 8-year-old boy. An 8-year-old boy.
Did it
Come
work?
on, man.
Did it work?
Well, what he did to try and prove the theory was he exposed the inoculated boy to smallpox, and it was a success. Which sucks that they had to use an 8-year-old boy for it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It might have been
Well,
a runaway or one of those, you know.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I
Like
know, I know.
some bum kid
Like-
or
yeah,
Forget
exactly.
rats. We're
And
going
just-
straight
just
to the
to-
8-year-old.
oh damn.
Yeah.
And just to add to that as well, I was gonna say, like, because like they said, a lot of the Europeans back then, they used to live and work like with their livestock or whatever.
Yeah.
So when they all came over to well, I guess Africa and the Americas,
Yeah.
that's why it decimated so many of the natives, because they weren't immune to it, but because the people working side and side with the animals, they caught the disease, but they built a
They built like a herd immunity, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas the natives didn't have it. It just decimated them.
It just
exactly.
killed
It
all of
decimated
them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they just killed the rest of them.
Crazy,
brutally
man.
Anyways, but,
Right.
Y'all gotta know your facts and get into it really. You know, just you gotta dig deep into facts.
So bringing that back to the cowpox and smallpox. So did you know the term vaccination the actual root word is vaca, which means cow.
Oh.
So
Wow.
he coined the term vaccination.
Wow.
So I guess
Wow.
So he's
mad
like a
cow
father.
disease.
So he's a
Mad
father,
cow.
father of
Wow.
I guess.
of like the primitive like
Vaccine.
the original vaccines or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Where
Give props.
Onesimus was the person who brought it to the Europeans and to the
The continent,
the Boston and whatnot, right?
Oh wow.
Well, he got it's an extended version of it, right? Like a more
Mm-mm.
improved version. But the only thing with that is that it had a lot of side effects because they don't have the germ technology and understanding and knowledge that we have now, right?
Right.
So a lot
That's
of
what I
them
was
were
saying before.
contaminated, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of people that were trying to, get inoculated for smallpox ended up getting other diseases as well.
Because you also, with that being said, like germs and diseases and all that just comes from a certain source, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like we're on the Earth. We don't fly to Mars and come back. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, like those germs and diseases will eventually, Corona, come into play, where vaccines need to be made. But at the same time, how much more can come out of that? Like where's it? Like, I want to know where's the source of all these things coming from, the flu, all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, some of those things, some just like animals have tons of diseases that humans don't have, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of diseases that at some
So
point.
they say, though.
Well, a lot of
So
times
say.
I mean, there is a lot that started in animals too, but they'll say some of them will, jump from one speed. Like, so maybe that cat or whatever, or I don't know, whatever, friggin' parrot or something can't
He went from cat to parrot.
yeah. Well, so whatever. Say some sloth, right? So there's a sloth. And like and maybe it can't. Its disease can't go to a human.
Yeah.
But then maybe there's another animal that's in Siberia or something that would never be around the sloth.
Right.
But for some reason, the disease a sloth can have, that other animal can get. So usually, and that other animal could be able to transmit it to a person, right? So usually that connection would never happen because they're all in different places. But
That's true.
So
that's why they say the Chinese.
Travel.
So what did I just say, though, yo? What did I say?
Illegal animals to different countries.
Right.
That's the reason also why sometimes they say you can't bring
or
certain
insects.
things. Yeah,
or
exactly.
Little smaller animals.
Yeah.
They
even fruit. Certain
yes.
But that's
why it's supposed to stay there.
Yo, that's why.
Then a fly might eat that fruit.
Yo, this is
human, like a mosquito. Like look at malaria, right? That's
yo.
Blood and
Lyme
This is why I said at the beginning, stop traveling.
At least for now.
Stop bringing contraband.
Yo, stay your ass at home.
Yo,
Stop bringing crazy contraband, man. Like bring the weed in, but don't bring the illegal cheese.
Yo, there's actually
come on, man.
That's crazy shit.
There was actually an episode on Simpsons when
of course there was.
Bart and the Simpsons, they went to Australia.
Oh,
found a pet frog, brought it over, and it totally messed up the ecosystem because
I think that's based off a true story.
Yeah,
I think based off a true story, but I think it might have been the other way around. Like I think it might have gone to Australia, but there was somewhere someone brought a frog, and there's no natural predators.
Yeah,
so it just
went haywire.
Went crazy and crazy. It's like there's some insects that are like that too. Like you see in the States, there's like certain what do you call those things? Like
beetles.
Not beetles, not dragonflies, like cricket kind of type things.
Okay.
Like
grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I used to collect those motherfuckers.
They're there, and I guess the birds don't eat them, and then they just multiply and multiply.
Yeah,
they have no.
see.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Same with fish too. There's fish that are killing environments because.
Yeah, because there's too many.
Yeah, and some fish, you know what happened too, after Katrina, there's some type of python.
Oh my God.
That got loose in like the Everglades and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
That's like, so it's not natural there. It's from some pet stores or whatever, but it just breeded a lot. And now it's like a nuisance.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
Kills other animals and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. They went haywire. I heard of that.
Like, it's crazy.
Pythons, bro. Like, come on.
The same climate, but they're just not from there. It came from, I think so they could adapt into that climate. They could eat they
or
eat whatever
or injure another animal that gets pregnant.
There's something like only the alligators or something that were the only real
Predators,
predators, right? Everything
Yeah,
else
now they got Street Fighters in the building.
Okay, we'll bring it back. So the UK made vaccinations mandatory in the 1800s after they figured out everything.
Right.
The only thing was, though, that despite the efforts of, Nesmith, Mather, and Jenner, in the 20th century, there were still 300 million deaths of smallpox worldwide. And the last recorded case of smallpox was in 1978. So we're talking about from the 1700s to 1978, over 200 years.
Damn.
Now I got a question to bring it all back, to bring it all together to current times. Are we doing a disservice by not allowing for herd immunity? Because that's how they were able to, I guess, cure smallpox and find that by being around the cows and getting that, right? And
a lot of other ones too, I think. There's other ones as well. I think
but you see how nowadays everybody's in this clean freak mode, spraying all of these chemicals that aren't natural to our bodies. They're not natural to our makeup. So
the Lysol and all that shit.
Yeah, this Lysol craze and all that. So I just wonder, are we doing a disservice by not allowing, if this COVID actually is a thing, allowing it to, I guess, get to us so that we can create that immunity? I'm just curious. I'm just wondering.
I think.
I want to know what the viewers feel about that too.
Yeah, let us
chime in right now with that.
Hey, what's up, DJ 71? I see you in the chat. You know what I mean? Let us know too, right? But
I think that's what it was. Yeah. My bad.
But I think for this, herd immunity may be good. I think there's certain things like polio or some other things that that it's just not going to work. You're just going to kill too many people. But something that doesn't kill everybody, something like this, there might be a way to maybe make some drug that maybe not a vaccine, but it lowers the severity of it. So therefore, like a common cold.
Yeah,
it's been around for how long? There's no cure for it, but we still live with it.
Well, we're talking about a less than 1% mortality rate.
Less than half.
Less than half. It may have increased because they increased testing, right? But I don't know. But all I'm saying is that we're talking about less than 1%. You know what I mean? I don't know if I feel it's like you're taking an anvil to an ant.
Yeah.
But I think also because it spread so fast across the world compared to other.
Is it that it spread fast or that they just did more testing?
And the the cases. You got to remember too that a lot of the numbers that we're seeing, they're cases. And remember, when you go into a hospital or a clinic or you get that initial testing, if you have a runny nose or a tiny temperature even, or any flu or cold symptoms, right? It's all the same. Then they're going to put you down as a case number.
Crazy.
But then when you go in now and you see the actual doctor who's going to give you the test, the actual COVID-19 test, and you test negative, they do not go back to that initial list and take your name off the list. So that's why you see, and people are going nuts. I've had people even tell me, what do you mean? There's 800 more cases, or there's 160 more cases. And it's those are cases, and you don't know, because a lot of people don't know these things. They don't go and look and do research, because when the government tells you to do something, a lot of people, unfortunately, they're just going to do it. They're not even going to ask any questions.
Yes.
They're not going to challenge anything. And they know that.
They hit the news, it's a wrap.
Yeah, because then when you see a box with that blue mask that says, hey, this doesn't work. Well, I'm going to put it on anyways because the government said that we can do that. That to me is just a failure of you just informing yourselves. That is why when people ask me certain things, I ask them questions now about actual things that have taken place. And I always say this at the beginning: why did we trust people to come off of those flights from Italy and wherever? And Italy was really bad, right? So why were people trusted to exit those flights, to go and quarantine themselves, rather than being mandated to be quarantined because it was so serious? Because remember, at the beginning, they're oh my God, we don't know what this is, or we kind of know it's a strain, a different strain of coronavirus that we've had before. So we don't know how bad this is, but they thought it was really, really bad. So my thing is, if it's really, really bad, then everybody should be quarantined and forced to do so, because it's a pandemic. Right. So and people still haven't been able to answer that question for me. Obama was also talking long before this happened about the fact that there was going to be a virus, that there was going to be a pandemic.
I saw that too.
Bill Gates sat right next to his wife after this pandemic has been out for months with a freaking smirk on his face, okay, saying that, you know, they didn't listen too much to this one, but I guarantee you that they're going to listen to and pay attention to the next pandemic. Like, what did you just say?
Hold on, though, but like
Probably.
hold on.
Video, bro.
Hold on,
Video.
Still,
But even
I
with-
think they will, because I mean, look what happened now. Now, if another pandemic comes in 50 years, I bet you they'll probably have their shit together a bit more than this time. You know
But
what I mean?
the reason
Yeah.
that troubled me, what's disturbing about that is like, why would you even say that? That tells me that you know something that the rest of us don't know.
That's what I was just getting. I was
Okay,
just about to get to that point.
Why do you have a
But-
smirk on your
yeah.
face?
I was
If all
just about
these
to get to that
people-
point.
Listen, if all these people friggin' died, okay, why do you have a smirk on your face? Because you have trillions of dollars and you know you're not going down.
Yeah.
But every person,
Yeah, buddy.
every person in a third world country, he sat next to his wife and they said it would be third world countries that get the vaccine first, and in America, because they're in America, so they were just focusing on that. It would be the minorities. What is it? The
But-
natives and
yeah,
the blacks.
but you
Why
want-
do
but-
they get it first?
But you want me to tell you why they'll get it first?
Yo.
I'll tell you why. Because I mean, you could say, okay, let's not give it to them, and let's give it to all the rich white people first. But his like, if you look at the whole thing that he's saying, is that the poor people, the black people, the minorities, poor people in third world countries, they don't usually get those vaccines. Like there's still countries like India, people still get polio. You know what I mean? They're not even getting vaccine. Here we get the vaccine, no problem. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
what he's trying to say is like in the places where and for the people who are the most vulnerable as well, right?
Could probably cure.
Like a lot of rich people don't need to go to work on the front line and stuff like that. When in the States, it's a lot of the black and the brown people that are on the front line. So that's why he's saying we should give them the vaccines first, you know. And he's not talking about like testing. He's talking about like
Giving it to them.
Yeah, straight giving it to them.
Yeah, he's saying
Yeah.
like once it's been approved and everything, like a real vaccine. So he's trying to say like, you know, we need to give it to the vulnerable people, the people who can't afford it, and that stuff first. Because I mean, he could say, okay, fuck the poor people and the black people, and fuck those people in shithole countries like Trump always says.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna give it to I'm just gonna give
Yo,
it to
he's gonna get his, bro.
but then he could say this. Then would you guys be fine with him saying then? Fuck all the Africans and the black and brown people. I'm just gonna give it to all the
Rich
rich
people.
countries and the
I get it. I
Europeans
get it.
and people who have the money. Then
Right.
you know, and we'll leave and we'll put those people last if there's any left.
Right, I
You
get
know,
it,
yeah.
but the point that she's making that I've always made
Yeah.
is the fact that I feel like they know.
Of course they know.
I feel like they know. Even with the vaccines,
Of course
etc.
they know.
I just feel like they knew this was coming.
They
Well, they
had
were
a
from time.
part
They've
of
been saying
it.
that from
They
years,
were
you know what I
part
mean?
of it.
But
Like
but
9/11, they knew was gonna come, right? Because they
Right,
warned,
so
9/11 wasn't real either. Let's just get on that train.
Yo, it's like this. It's
All
like
right?
this. It's like this. If sorry,
Mike.
if you go ahead and you're around a couple people, let's say you're around 3 people,
Mm.
and there's 70 others around you, but you're in the middle, and you're whispering to those people inside the middle. The ones on the outside will never hear what you said. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like
well, that's
there's a certain amount of people, you know, we go to the lengths of saying Illuminati and all this other stuff. But I feel like there is those type of people out there that have these access
For sure.
to these situations.
and there's also
Of course.
exactly well
to
like,
say,
more power,
to say,
more
yo,
pull, bro.
to say, yo, let's throw a vaccine out there and see what happens.
yeah, but there's also a lot of people that
And they
warn-
probably had the cure.
that warn people about things and then no action's taken. Like there's a lot of governments that did, like you're saying, they should have, you know, what do you say, like
Precaution.
Proactive?
quarantine people more.
Oh.
Like you're saying, why
Right.
if it's so dangerous, why are they letting them out?
Right.
Why is
That's
there
the
no
point.
things? But it's like people were warning them from time, but the people in charge never listened. You know what I mean?
Yo.
So it's not like saying, oh, those people that were warning them were up to something bad. It's the
So-
people who never listened that.
But
put us in the spot
the
too, you know what I mean?
enforcement, the enforcement that they give right now.
Like if Trump listened, like look, Trump never listened, right? People told
Whoops. It's okay.
people.
Man down.
I think we're all right. So, but
It's okay.
people told Trump that you know,
Studios
even-
going in
even when-
effect.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like we've got there might be a pandemic. Trump's like, okay, whatever. Even into March, he's like, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's not like the people telling him we're up to something no good. it was Trump and his administration that just sat and didn't do anything when they heard what was going
true.
on. They didn't even.
That's true, and that goes for you Americans voting for him, bro.
They got a warning and they never investigated it. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing though. Like, it's been proven that the CDC and the WHO have fudged the numbers. Even in Ontario, they even admitted that they inflated the numbers by 50%.
Yep.
The
They admitted
WHO
that.
or CDC or what?
I'm not sure. I just know that in Ontario, whoever was keeping the numbers, they said that they inflated it. And my question
CDC
is,
American, but yeah.
I know that. But I'm saying, even with the WHO, they admitted that they had inflated the numbers, right? So my thing is, like, if it's that serious and if it's that like in need for this much of a pandemic, why do you need to even fabricate and even
why'd you have to lie?
Why do you even need to inflate the numbers?
Why?
Like, why? There's really no point. I don't understand that.
That's why people don't believe.
I'm going back to my spot.
Okay. Thank you.
Your Briz had enough, yo. He had enough.
Yeah,
he had
won't
enough.
break it either.
I had enough too. Stop traveling to Canada. Stay your ass in the United States and other
Right.
places.
Yeah.
You got to remember too that Bill Gates was also on video, and it was in writing that he said what the world population was, and it was billions of billions, right? I can't remember the exact number, but it was a lot.
7 billion, something
like
billion
that.
right
Yes.
now. Yeah.
And then he said, and if we do, and I quote, I am quoting. This is a quote. I don't even need to look at paper. If we do a good job through vaccines, other medical care, other health care, and something else, I can't remember the third one, we can bring that number down. Now, my question is, why would you say that?
Well, my question
He
is,
just
why
literally
why would he want numbers down?
Exactly. But this is why I'm saying people look at it as COVID-19 and that's it. Some people, right? A lot of people. I choose to look at it as COVID-19 is one of the many little agendas that are in the world happening. And I'm so sorry to say that because there are a lot of lives that have been lost. But for me personally, it's infuriating because I personally have a cousin who had a boyfriend who died, and he didn't die of COVID-19. Okay? He died from kidney failure. He had a heart attack from the kidney failure.
Damn.
He went in for kidney failure. It was a pre-existing condition he had for a while. He was going in for, testing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he went in there. He had 2 heart attacks before he went in there. And then he went in there and he had his final heart attack and unfortunately passed away. She was around him so much before they even got to the hospital, while they were in the hospital.
When was this?
This was right when everything was starting.
You
Right
talking
at the
like
beginning.
November times or January
No.
times? Or
Beginning of this year. Like around March. When this was like
really
really hitting.
when everything was already
Yeah.
Yeah, like right
So
here.
when it hit hard, right?
Okay.
So he ended up passing away, and they told her that it was from COVID-19. She didn't believe it, but she automatically asked, okay, like, so I should get tested then, for sure, right? They didn't test her. Why didn't they test her? If she was around the guy for so many months while he was sick with supposed COVID-19, how come you didn't test her? There's really no answer other than
you guys
it's
need to
BS.
find a better doctor.
It's not even that. There's multiple doctors and nurses that have come out to admit that there's a lot of bullshit in this.
Of course. And
a lot of doctors and a lot of nurses and a lot of respected ones at that too. And very experienced ones. So they're all coming out with so many facts. And to be honest, with the Lysol and Pine Sol,
right,
when you're cleaning with that stuff, you're not cleaning away a virus. You're cleaning away bacteria. And the bacteria, the good bacteria and even the bad one, you need that to build immunity, like we said, right?
Right. So
even whether you use that or not, to be honest with you, it wouldn't have anything to do with a virus. But it is good to not use it as much because you need bacteria to
right.
To live.
Well, the alcohol kills the virus, right?
The alcohol in it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of those the other sprays
White
and
ones
stuff.
And sprays?
I think the other stuff
99.9%.
But I mean, they probably kill other bacteria as well, not just like the alcohol will kill the virus, but if it's got others killing your other bacteria, then it probably does kill it kills everything, kind of like whatever is on the table, there's no bacteria left anymore, you know what I mean? But
all right, so once again, we want you guys to get in the chat room, tell us what you guys think about the vaccine. Are you guys gonna take it? Like, are you not? For me, I don't know, because honestly, there's too much going on to say it works or doesn't work. But hit the comments, let us know what you guys think, Make sure you subscribe and you hit that bell too. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Hit that bell.
That's my bell. I already subscribed, whatever.
So I got a quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
What would need to happen in order for you guys to feel comfortable taking the vaccine?
Nothing.
She said it.
Nothing.
Like
So
I'm already on my way to do exemptions for my son to not get the other one.
So you're saying if all the doctors that you guys see that are saying it's bad, if they came out and found a way to make it good, and there was some way to right, because it seems like a lot of the reason why people don't want to take it is because
I get it.
The stuff that there's bad stuff.
No. I
obviously what is there that would what would make you take it?
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
or who's giving it or who's making it or
we go back to the cold. We go back to the flu.
Yeah.
Right? Still not cured. We still get it.
Mm-hmm.
But smallpox is pretty much cured though.
Well,
there's no case. There's like you said since 1975.
But then how bad of a virus is that towards?
It kills. It decimates people. It kills you badly.
Okay.
It's bad. It's pretty.
So
bad.
that's enough. Yeah. So that's enough to say right there. What was said before, right? That they have the means to stop it before it starts. Because if they could cure something like that decimates people.
Yeah.
Okay, new strands of viruses come out, etc. But it could be similar to the vaccine that they have that they could test, right? So obviously they're testing different vaccines to put that in place. My thing is this: if things are already came out before, like all types of viruses and all that came out before, and we found, how many years? Who actually thought that this would actually go down?
The guy that made Simpsons.
That's true. Yeah.
Who actually thought that we would who actually thought we when we saw Chinese people, we went to the mall and we see Chinese people like putting on masks. You guys forget that?
Yeah, but
but they've been putting on masks.
No,
they don't have good air where they live.
I'm talking about Toronto.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You go to
they've been doing it.
Yeah.
We go to Pacific Mall.
A cultural kind of thing, I think.
I go to Pacific Mall. They got masks on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I go to a Chinese restaurant. Some of them just have masks on plain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I just feel like, so when it comes to the vaccine, I'm not going to really have that.
So are you saying
that it more security yet?
So are you saying it more depends on the severity of what the virus is, what the disease is like? Because obviously the common cold is different than smallpox, right? So there's a lot of people that would say I would take a smallpox vaccine, but other people would say I don't need to take a cold vaccine because I'm like, a lot of people like I get the flu, that's fine, but I get the smallpox, I'm fucked. So like, I'll take the one, but I won't take the other. But just because of the severity, like kind of like with me and just taking regular medication, I don't take medication for like regular colds or whatever, right? Because I'm like, it's not remedies, man. Severe, right?
Yeah.
But that's another thing too. Take care of yourself.
I would take like if I had pneumonia or something, I would probably take it. Or if I
exactly. Take care of yourself first of all. Let's not forget that, right? Keep your immune system really good. At this point, we really have to. Like, if you were a junk eater and you didn't give a fuck, now you need to. You know what I mean? So that's number one, because if you're gonna fight anything besides Corona, your body gotta be well built. You know what I'm saying? And nourished.
And just to add on that too, for the people who are like, they're all about like, they don't trust the ingredients in the drugs and stuff.
Yep.
Well, all that junk food you're eating,
most of that
stuff,
right.
Cancerous and all that
chemicals.
Yeah.
You really believe like what's in what those chemicals are made of, and even if they are telling you they're even telling you
what's in
all the chemicals that are actually in there. You know what I mean? Or what's in the pesticides that are sprayed on your.
You can't even pronounce most of the stuff.
Yeah.
You can't even pronounce most of the stuff that's in there. And I saw a little educational video that said that they literally companies in the office think of different names to come up with.
Yeah, like
so people don't see sugar and salt and all the stuff.
Fructose and anything with that toast kind of at the end is a sugar product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, Briz I think wants to say something now too.
Yo, let's get into the chat room because it's kind of active right now.
Let's do this, guys. I mean? Woo-woo.
Let's get into this. Okay. So I think it was DJ Seba. 7-1. Shout out. He said the reason why they open up is because of the market. The reason why they opened everything up, right? It was because
like
of the businesses, right?
Before everything was safe.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And then I was saying, because good point. They said the mask only protects others from getting it. If you have it, that's how the mask works.
That's what I was saying too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also just to put on that point too, it also, so if people that have asthma and stuff like that can't wear masks, then that's why they say other people should be wearing the mask so it doesn't
affect them.
So you can't. So if they say I can't wear a mask, they won't get sick because you're doing your part, kind of. You know.
Very true.
So I just want to move on a little bit quickly.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Really quick. Okay.
Yes.
So we got
yourself too.
Yeah, Duchess the doll said because if the vaccine doesn't really work, then the third world poor people die instead. And then she said population control.
That's what.
From Get.
That's what I think it is. Population control.
My question always is:
shout out to Duchess the doll.
Why do people need population control? Because we don't actually have a population problem yet.
Yeah, and who controls that? Who controls that?
But that's the thing. Like, there's a myth that we actually have a population
problem. That's what I'm saying,
the problem isn't the population itself; it's the density.
Yeah, how it's spread out.
It's trying to put everything into the certain mega cities, right? And trying to keep everybody.
Why do you think
control?
Like we were talking
there's so much land.
Yeah. Look at Canada and Russia. We have so much, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
So much.
Okay, and let's what else? And then you said population control, and you said big ups. Okay, and then Dutch Doll said they want to put the chips in us, change our DNA and shit.
That's a little crazy, but
I'm over here. But a little too crazy for me. But if you think about that, but listen, if you think about it clearly, the way that they're manifesting things now, because of how you're supposed to be 6 feet away, right? How you're supposed to wear a mask, how you're supposed to move,
facial recognition,
right? All of that. But all of that would come down to the point that she made, where let's see if they will do what we say, and then move on to another strategy.
But I mean, we have all that stuff now. We have facial recognition. We have everyone walks.
Yeah,
but they track your phone. They track you online. They track all this stuff already, right?
It's not enough though.
They want everything. I don't know who it is. I don't know who you are, but you want everything.
For what ends? That's what I'm saying. Like who and to what ends? Who and to what ends? Like who's doing it and to what ends? That's what you gotta ask yourself.
See, I feel like what they're really trying to do is just trying to normalize it and trying to break it into you.
Sorry, who do you mean by they?
I'm talking about the people that are in control of like the governments and whatnot that are instilling these mandates and setting these certain laws and rules, right? Okay. So there's a theory, not a theory, but like kind of like analogy that I've heard of the frog in the pot. So if you put a frog in a pot, like I'm like vegan, so like that
he gonna blow up
anyways, right? But you put a frog in a hot pot, it's gonna jump out. But if you put a frog in a kind of normal pot and then turn up the heat, it's not gonna really recognize. It's gonna be a slow heat, and eventually it's gonna kill itself. So by the government instilling all these mandates and certain rules,
that's what I'm saying.
It's like normalizing it. It's trying to it's trying to break it into you slowly. Because if they said we're giving you a vaccination, we're giving you a chip, that's what it is. People are going to revolt against it, right? But if you normalize it and you break it in slowly by bringing in certain things, certain mandates, then people normalize and they get more comfortable.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm asking who is this person that's doing this?
What I'm saying is the government. What I'm saying is the government.
132.
No, but that's what I was saying as well. Because
130.
Yeah, but we don't even know who it is. Realistically,
we don't necessarily know who it is.
Government. Who the hell are these people?
Well, you've got tons of different governments, right?
Mr. Fucking scary shit.
I mean, you've got tons of different governments that don't get along and have different agendas, right? So it's kind of weird for them to all be in the same thing, right?
Control governments, who control the president, who control everybody.
But they don't control, say, North Korea. They don't control Iran. They don't like most of our enemies. They don't control, right? So, but our enemies are doing that would be in a hypothetical situation. Would be doing the same things as for people that have different interests, right? So that's why I'm saying, who's the person that would be like in charge, or why would all governments that don't get along be conspirators?
I don't think it's a person. Rather, I think it's people. And I think too, I've mentioned cashless society before, and the reason why I've mentioned that is because if you think about it, so if we can control people with the masks, we can do so much more. So first we instill fear through COVID-19. Oh my God, there's a virus killing everybody, even though the flu kills more. I know what you said before was factual and it makes sense, but that's still a fact too. And then a lot of businesses don't even accept money anymore. TTC doesn't even accept much of that. Like a lot of places don't accept cash at all, whatsoever anymore. So that's another issue. But surely, Briz said this earlier today too. Remember before we were never able to tap our debit cards or credit cards or anything like that. We'd have to insert them. Then they said, okay, now you're gonna have the tap option
Because the chip.
convenience, right?
Right.
And then you can start. A lot of people use their phones to scan to tap, right?
Ooh.
Slowly but surely, the cash is going to be taken away, right? Some businesses have already done that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to bring it back or not, but they said, no, we don't take it anymore. So then what happens later when they start introducing a chip that's already been introduced in the States, for example, in some states in the States, sorry.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
She got a pause.
Sorry, I just had to giggle. Sorry. So, but yeah, and there's some people. I watched a guy get it, right? Get the chip. He got the vaccine and a vaccine with the chip, right? He had it put in right around here.
But it'd be a different thing than the vaccine because the vaccine needle.
I know.
Put a chip in, right?
I know, but
I
know, but I'm just saying this is like another step
Exactly.
later on.
It's just
So they already are testing that in some businesses and hospitals, and they were thinking of doing it in schools.
Okay.
Just to test as test runs, right? And then when they gave him, before they gave him the vaccine, they had an information package, right? And they're like, I don't know if they talked to the guy before, but they kind of just brushed over it. And they said, well, here's some information about the vaccine, but you can read that later. They just put it aside. This needle was so friggin' long, and they were putting a chip in his body. You're not putting anything into my body until I know what the fuck you're putting in my body.
I want to see the X-ray.
It's kind of more of a test trial.
But I want to see
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I want to see the X-ray on that.
You're putting a chip in my body.
Yeah.
Well, better sit my ass down.
Yeah.
So that's up to you if you're deciding to do that, right? Like, I mean, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I guess teach their own, right?
Yeah,
some people are so quick to go into tests.
But some people are like, yeah, there's a test of $2,000. I'll test this new drug or whatever.
It's true. Some people do that for $100.
As we move on, though.
Yeah, let's move on.
Sorry, I just want to say something real quick. That's the extremes, though. Like, see how people see the chip going into your hand? It's like, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because it's not normalized, right?
But once more people start to do it, more.
Of course, it also depends on what the chip is. Because I mean, if you think about it too, a lot of the stuff we have already,
I don't want a chip in me. Regardless.
It's not a big difference from you having a chip than them already having your SIN number, already having where you're going from your.
Yeah, but why put it in my body?
But that would all be.
Because then you don't lose it. Then it's harder.
You
won't lose it. You won't get no one will steal your identity.
Oh my god!
I know people have metal. I know people have metal in their legs from broken bones and stuff.
Bro,
that's not natural in their body either, right? That's not natural either.
As we move on, though,
and technically they could track you with that too, right?
Because there's enough to keep going with this shit.
Like, I mean, they could track girls with like nail polish and stuff, right? Like,
putting
that
shit on again.
That's another
going to like a chip, where or putting the gold in your fillings. They could do that.
They can do it in so many different places.
Chip, right? Yeah.
But as we move on,
everyone say a chip as opposed to all these other things, right? Everyone makes a big deal like, vaccines and chips as opposed to dentists and fillings and tracking, or nail polishing and tracking, or you know what I mean? Like,
I just wanna, as we can go on forever with that, I want to talk about the national, international parts of the vaccine.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. First of all, Russia wants to go rush and approve the vaccine before testing is complete.
Well,
what do you guys think of that? First of all, countries that feel like
comments, please.
They're gonna comment in the chat room. What do you think about the fact that Russia wants to go ahead and have the vaccine put out before testing is even complete? And what does that do to you as an individual to say, how come that country is doing it compared to waiting for the vaccine to be complete, like other countries are taking steps to doing? So, what do you guys think about that? First of all, the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we already know.
Do you remember that?
We already know.
Do you remember when COVID-19 came out and when it started, there were talks about how Russia already had a vaccine that was ready. They weren't worried.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that.
So,
but they love the trolling.
Exactly. That's what I say. They love trolling. They love it, especially the Americans. You know what I mean?
They love it
for big time. So for somebody who, or for what the hell was I just gonna say? I hate it when that happens. Brain fart. But the fact that bloopers on live. But for a vaccine to be approved before the testing is complete, that alone speaks volumes about the fear
And control.
mongering that has been going on.
Yeah, and control.
Because when you instill fear, you instill complete control.
Yeah.
Okay, or you have complete control, I should say. Sorry.
Exactly.
And that's what people have to think. Like this whole thing with the why wouldn't you take the vaccine if it comes, even if you're given more information? My thing isn't just the ingredients that may be in there that might cause some really bad effects. My thing is when you look at history and you look at different times in history with the government, I can't trust them. Period. End of story. So I will always do my research, and I always like to keep an open mind because I think regardless of my views,
nobody's perfect too, you know?
Yeah, and I can always learn, and that's why I always like to hear both sides. I don't care what I believe in. I want to hear both sides.
We also want to hear sides from credible sources as well. Because some people
You
will
don't
just
wanna
go
waste
and
time
watch
on
like
bullshit.
Alex Jones or something and get some crazy ass shit.
So
you want to get from experts or people that have
credentials.
And also, like I'll see on the news on I don't know, on some American news sometimes they'll have like some guy and he's like the finance minister or something.
Right.
And he's up there talking about like medicine type stuff, and they're like, but you don't know anything about medicine. You don't know about anything about medicine. You know what I mean? So yeah. But
Bridget's throat is hurting him. Bill Gates is in his throat.
And
pause.
Wow.
Oh,
We cannot do that blooper. Like at all. There's no editing there, guys. Sorry, that came out completely wrong, bro.
We'll take care of it in YouTube studio.
Yeah. My bad. Shit. But as we keep moving on, though, I want to know one thing. Okay. Will there be certain laws behind this after it's implemented? Like when the vaccine's out? Because, also with the countries, fighting against things like, oh, we need more vaccines here. So, money's going to be involved, etc. Right? Which causes already enough problems. So once that's in effect, like how are they going to distribute this, around the world? That's going to be another problem.
Yep.
Because, people are going to start doing shit with the vaccine. Criminals are going to start
using market back.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like
criminals are going to start. Oh, you got it? I got it.
The new version of Limitless.
So, chime in the comments and let us know like what you think about that when the vaccine goes around the world and the confusion and the conflicts that's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen from that?
So Duchess the doll, she just said that there might be a war.
I would second that. I'm sorry.
Yo, but stop scaring me.
Shout out to you, girl. Let's be careful with our wording, with intentional verbiage. But at the end of the day, I think that too. Like in my opinion, we're already in a war, so to speak. But it's just gonna
a war. But it's a war of a confusion, though.
It's a war of our rights
and confusion.
Well, and also countries looking for any excuse to go to war anyways.
So, you're right. That is completely right as well.
Americans are looking for anything to go fight Iran. They're looking for any excuse to get in there. You know what I mean? So they're like, I had a question for you regarding the global thing about vaccines. Is like, if some countries right now probably don't even need to get as long as they, I guess, keep their borders closed for right now, but as long as they keep their borders closed or, regulate things, they're in a good enough position that they don't really need a vaccine because the numbers are so low. And with the low numbers there, those low ones could probably get herd immunity and stuff like that. Whereas you look at somewhere in the States, it's so out of control.
Right.
I think that's why people say, okay, you may need a vaccine there. Whereas I don't know what country, but just whatever, I don't know, Fiji or something like that. Say it had no cases or something like that, right? Then you'd be like, okay, well, we don't really need to vaccinate. Maybe or I don't know, maybe a bigger country, but it's like a small population. There's a small percentage of the population that has it, but it's not very much, and the death rate's really low too. So people getting it there, they're not dying,
right?
And it's not even a lot, right? So I think a country like that, you probably don't even need a vaccine. You may be looking more at.
Hold on, even that country that did the swimming pool in China, Hunan or what is it called?
Wuhan province.
Wuhan. Yeah. They said in Wuhan it was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, but Chinese are
nowhere to be found.
Yeah, but I take what the Chinese say with a grain of salt, right? Like the Chinese government.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, say that again.
But,
they trolling too. Shit.
But I mean, there's other countries that are first world country. Like I think it's New Zealand. There's someone that's doing really well, and some countries like that.
Yeah, they had like next to nothing. If anything,
and something like that.
Because their unity is like very good.
So something like that. What would your guys thought of? Not necessarily a vaccine, but just say like a medicine that you like. So if someone does get it, it just brings the symptoms down.
Right.
So maybe
so
you give someone else. Yeah, so it's manageable. Would you guys be for or against that?
No.
For me to go speak upon this, it's like this. Who's the first one to go? Who's the first one to test that?
Medicine?
No, yeah, that situation where you got to pick someone to.
Who do you
right? And then also
you have trials, right? That's anything that goes. They usually have at least
right.
But they have to have release forms and everything.
But they have trials. You have to volunteer for trials. That's why right now the one in the States, they're not getting enough. They said they don't get enough minority volunteers to be able to see how it affects other people.
So good for the United States.
It might work on white people, but it may not work on other people because they don't have. So that'll mean it'll take longer for them to ever get a vaccine because they don't get enough
people to test
a wide range of a population to be able to test it. But
so then that goes to my.
But I was saying not necessarily a vaccine, just a like a medicine that's not. It's not.
I have a question to that.
Yeah,
I have a question to that.
Me too.
But you go first.
It's kind of off the medicine.
Well, is yours on the medicine or?
Yes.
Then
so you go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say no. Okay. But my question to that would be: so let's say we're using Fiji, like you said, right? And let's say they are incorporating that medicine, even if it's not a vaccine. What happens now if somebody in the States wants to go travel to Fiji, but they're coming from over here where they might, like people in Fiji might just need the medicine because it's not something that's very prevalent there. But someone that's coming from the States where it's more high risk, so to speak, then would they have to get a vaccine rather than before they come into that? That's what I'm saying. It's so hard.
Yeah, they may have to quarantine them 14 days because it's not like that's
before they're able to really dip in,
get
like
onto
really
the plane,
get it.
Right? Yeah, because it's like a lot of other diseases, you could work it out easier because you can just like test them before they get on the plane. Do you have the disease or not? Right? Because most of those diseases don't take long before you get the symptoms or you can test. Right? But the one problem with COVID, it takes 14 days. So you can test somebody today. They may be 5 days into it, have it, whereas something else, they test them. Oh, you got it. You're not coming on this plane.
Exactly. Yeah.
Get the skipping.
See,
quick.
Okay, what was yours?
But yeah. So my thing is like this: if I don't want it, what happens to me then?
You get
sick. Is it mandatory or is it voluntary?
Right, and then also
the medicine. Yeah,
the medicine would be voluntary.
So but the vaccine as well, right? Some people are ignorant. You know, it's like some people are just like, yo, you're telling me that I have it. I don't even feel sick. I ain't taking nothing.
Well, it's like
right. So then it's like, what happens to them?
See,
because that means that person is going to be spreading it because they feel like they don't want to take it, but they're still going to be spreading it because you do have it. You do need a quarantine, and then if the vaccine is out, you do need to take it. But then with the laws too, is there going to be laws in place? And then what happens to that person that don't want to take it?
Exactly. That's the big question.
So then,
what do you guys think? Remember, comment in the comments in the chat.
I want to know.
So then
if they said no to you, I mean, if you said no to them, you guys, and so they put you in jail, would you take the vaccine still?
The vaccine.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing for you guys out there. If you're going to jail because you're not taking this vaccine, are you going to jail? Are you just going to put yourself like, take me to jail?
Place still. They'll probably put you in a quarantine type place.
So then here goes,
still, you know?
Here goes some movies where, you know, they
isn't that what they do?
World Order. Shit.
But then, so then my question then is, so I would say, okay, so, and even for the people out there, like, you know, if you want to chime in too, what do you guys think is the solution for the COVID?
That's a hard question. I want to see those answers.
If we're saying no masks, we're saying no vaccines and no pills to even bring down the severeness. What would you guys say?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
But it's like this. There's no liability when you're dead. Right? So if you're going to die because of this, because they say it's so severe, right? I need to know, like, for sure there's my family's getting taken care of or something like that. You get what I mean? Because that's gonna persuade me, even though I do have it, and yeah, you should go off and get it because dummy, you're sick. At the end of the day, I don't know that for sure because there's no question, there's no answers for me. There's no total answers to say everything that you guys are saying is true. That's the point for me. It's like everybody's saying something. Who am I gonna believe?
But that's when
they
you
say
have
that
to
about
kind of
every medical thing too, right? You can say that about condoms and AIDS too, right? Like if you were gonna fuck a girl with AIDS, would you wear a condom, or would you say I don't know? Because some doctors out there say something different, right?
Hold on.
Would you say?
Hold on. With that being said,
yeah,
there are symptoms that you see with the AIDS patient or person.
Sometimes you don't know.
Yeah, because it's not in effect yet.
Well, there's the medication that people with HIV,
but not AIDS.
Okay, so say HIV, someone has HIV, would you fuck them without a condom? Because some people say, some may say, the condoms not, or it's the same people that are saying you should take a vaccine are the same ones that are saying use a condom. So now, if you're saying you shouldn't trust those people saying take a vaccine, why trust them when they say use a condom with somebody that's got HIV?
Hold on, if you didn't check our condom episode, check that out as well.
Episode 1 of 2020.
Wrap it up twice and shit.
Yeah, wrap
as
it up.
Jinx may say.
And I mean, you gotta be careful about that too, because when you go home with people that you just met, you don't know what they have or they don't have, and a condom can't save you.
And forget a condom, they got corona too. You know what I'm saying? So,
in DC, they have glory holes.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if y'all heard about that. This is absolutely ridiculous.
But also like this, with corona being out there, and we don't know who has it or who doesn't have it. How many of y'all been tested? I want to know, the viewers out there, have you guys been tested yet?
How many of y'all been tested for HIV too?
Oh my God!
Whoa, that's another story.
And you're not even allowed
some
to
of the 30 people may need a test for everything because there's some dirty people out there.
Yeah, like that dress like
they have a whole list they're checking off. They're like, oh shit, I got
coronavirus. The one thing it did do is it reminded people to wash their damn hands.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
And their bodies. And all
I've been doing that.
These are things
I've been doing my body
doing anyway.
before, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So, yeah, you should have been washing your hands anyways, guys. So if you're dirty, then get clean.
20 seconds, people. Shit.
So, I think an important thing for people to know is exemptions, right? Or are exemptions.
True.
Okay.
I was gonna say, why don't you explain the definition first, just so they understand what.
Well, an exemption is basically you being exempted to not have to take the vaccine. So you, whether it's religious or conscious reasons, you would not have to take the vaccine.
I guess
you or your children.
Health reasons as well.
For health, yes, right? That's right. So, according to the Ontario legislature, okay, parents must attend an education session. So I myself, like I said, I'm working on this right now for my son.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned too. You have to go to it's a full day information session. And again, for religious or conscious or health reasons. Now, the funny thing, it's not funny, but it is pretty dope that this happened. But October 28th of 2019, vaccinechoicecanada.com, guys. So, for instance, if you want to get some information about exemptions, it's vaccinechoicecanada.com. So that company and 5 individual mothers of children in the school system launched an action in the Superior Court of Ontario against the government of Ontario, and they basically challenged the constitutional validity of the Immunization of School Pupils Act and Ontario's compulsory vaccine regime. So basically, if you don't go through that information session, if you don't if you don't do that, you don't get to go to that next step of exemption. And so this company and the mothers challenged that and put an action in because they wanted to fight that, because that does go against your rights to be forced to get vaccines if you don't want them for whatever the reason is, right? I also myself, I received paperwork a few times from the government saying that my son was outdated and he needed vaccines, and if he didn't get them, he'd be suspended or expelled. So I know in some areas of the US, they've already taken that away.
Some parts of Canada too, I think, because I was talking to one of my friends out west somewhere, and I think she was saying it's not mandatory. I forget which vaccine it is, but there's one of them that's mandatory. I think in Ontario, or used to be, but now out there it's not. So
it's funny though because they've been giving kids vaccines in school too,
and
or like
hepatitis
and all this shit. Who knows what they've been doing from time?
Sorry, I had a question. So they were suing them. So because it seemed like if they took the course, they'd be able to be exempt. Am I correct?
Yeah. So what you have to do is you have to take the information session to learn about everything, and then you have to give a sworn statement.
Okay.
After that as well, that you've gone to the information session and you still want the exemption, and then from there you would get your paperwork notarized, obviously by a lawyer, so it would be legit. Yeah. And that's the process.
So those people suing just didn't want to do that.
They were calling action, because they thought that it was wrong for you to have to go through all those steps. It should be something that is a choice. Right, so they're basically challenging that.
Well, that one didn't seem too bad, like because I think that seems like a good with like a kind of good middle ground, kind of, because like there's a lot of people that say okay, whatever vaccine they got to take, some don't want to take it, but it seems like okay, well if you do that course, then you can be exempt. Seems like a good kind of like a pathway to be a citizen. You know what I mean? Yeah, kind of like you got to take a couple steps, but you can still not be able to take it, just maybe it takes the day out of your life, but it seems like a good kind of
middle ground.
Said, exactly. You know what I mean?
I think I thought it was pretty cool that they challenged that, because I mean, in my opinion, you should be able to have the liberty of making choices for your kids and stuff, although there are certain laws put in place that need to be put in place, right? But I do agree that, me personally, it's a day.
Yeah, right. Like,
so I don't personally mind going for that day, because regardless of what my opinions are, I'm still learning.
Exactly.
And that's number one.
And the outcome is going to be what you want anyway.
Yeah, and there actually might be people who do that information session and say, you know what, I don't think I want an exemption anymore, because maybe it is a good idea. Exactly, So it's good for both sides, really.
Exactly.
That's why I agree. It's a good middle ground. It's an option. You can do it or you cannot.
Unless you actually,
it's opinion
gives you better, like you're saying, gives you better information to choose for yourself. Exactly.
Yes.
And then you can come up with certain concerns you have, and they would be able to have, different answers. Exactly. You know what I mean? And at the same time, at the end of the day, if you don't want to take it, you won't need to take it. It's not like they're saying take this and then you still got to take it type thing. So
any more other things?
So September of last year, Toronto Star, they put the Toronto Board of Health. There was an article where the Toronto Board of Health urged the province to cut that, to not even have the option of having exemptions.
So just straight mandatory
straight. Period. Yeah. And then that.
Who are they?
Who? What?
Who are they to do that?
Oh, exactly. I was like, I just said the Toronto Board of. No, I'm just joking. Sorry.
Bang.
Smart ass in the house. Yep. Ding ding. Bah, 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 bah. So that was a huge uproar. Okay. Obviously, they didn't get their wish, at least in most of, because like you said, there's certain parts of Canada that are already on that boat. Okay. But that's where I started researching more, and that's when I found out about the vaccine hesitancy. And that's the statistic we were talking about at the beginning of the show, where in 2006, it was 0.8% that where parents were very hesitant to go through with vaccinations. And now, as of last year anyways, it's 1.72%. So it's gone up, right? And it's probably even more so now. And again, I don't know about other people, but for me personally, it's not just what's in the vaccines, but it's history replaying itself over and over again. And I guess it's hard to kind of make a decision, because there's vaccines that, like polio, where it's shown results, and then there's other vaccines that do have negative effects as well. So that cause like autism and other things, even heart disease.
Their rate of, like, some of the flu vaccinations, some of their rates probably aren't 100% that it's going to stop it. Whereas other, like you're saying, the polio is pretty. They've got it pretty down pat. That, you know what I mean?
So why don't they just follow the polio? Still,
it's a different it's different.
No, but like
different virus.
Yeah,
right?
of course. No. It's a different virus, but I'm saying as in like protocols. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying about the severity of a virus versus
Right.
the making people take them or not, or exemptions or whatever, and especially if it's viruses, like, I mean, there's some viruses that kids are more susceptible for, right? So in that case, you may be like, you know what, maybe you do make that a bit more, especially if it's something that's like, say if it's like polio that's proven, and I don't know I think polio affects everybody, but like say it only affected kids, then you'd be like, you know what,
maybe it's a good idea
over hundreds of years, and it affects your kids more. So maybe that, as opposed to like you say, okay, you don't think that the the flu vaccine is that efficient or whatever. They'd be like, yeah, then maybe that shouldn't be used. Or shouldn't be mandatory, right? But
I think that regardless of what any of you guys believe, and remember, chime in the chat, please. I think regardless of what anyone believes, I think whether you are pro-vaccine or not, everyone should inform themselves of both sides, because
Honestly,
you obviously want to know what's in the vaccines. You shouldn't just be blindly taking anything.
I mean, even like you're saying, they have to take that course for to be exemption. It might be good just to take that. Everyone's just got to take that course first.
Education is number one.
And then you have the ability to say, yeah, I want it now. Yeah, I don't want it, but it's like mandatory or kind of mandatory. Just everybody at some point's got to take that, even if it's an online thing or something, so you can do it on your own time, or it's like, or somehow make it short, so it's like an hour or something, so you can just go to your local community center or somewhere, and you don't have to, you know what I mean? So
so yeah, that I feel like that wraps it up for today.
It does, guys.
Get like we're saying before, guys, if you want to get the vaccine, if you don't, at least still educate yourself about what's going on.
That's right.
Because nobody has the answers right now. What you can do is find out for yourself how you feel about it.
Yes.
So that's number one.
Yep. Look at the research, do the research. And then after you do all that research from different places, might I add, then you just got to use this up here. And you got to kind of make sense of things the best that you can.
And also, don't forget, give us our feedbacks on our Raw Report Mixshow IG page. Make sure you hit up at the Raw Report _Mixshow on IG.
That's right.
Because we want to know what you guys think also on our other social medias. And keep the comments coming, because, if you didn't subscribe, also make sure you hit that bell. Yeah, heard. And, we're going to have more videos to come.
Yes.
COVID's not stopping nobody here.
That's right.
Also, I was going to mention too, so a lot of people watching this live, we're going to post the show up afterwards as well. So if anybody's watching this afterwards, obviously you can't join in the live chat, but leave your comments down below, you know what I mean? And also, if you've got any topics or ideas you'd want us to, bring up on the show, talk about, put them in the comments as well. We're looking for new ideas, and you guys are our viewers, our listeners, so, we respect you and rate you really good. So if you've got ideas and topics, take a look at them, and
that's right, they're important to us,
and we always thank you, and we always thank you for listening and taking the time to listen, what I'm saying,
guys.
and watch
because that gives the Raw Report
some
the
extra
push
spice
that we need, what I'm saying.
That's right, Briz,
you got anything to say?
Okay, I just wanna give a rest in peace, rise in power, rest in paradise to my homie Mouse, Richard Brown. And to the Brown family, my deepest condolences.
Yeah,
my homies, legendary breakdancer from the group The Supernaturals.
Right.
Shout out to them, Yeah. And man.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Miss you, brother.
So with that said, we are the Raw Report. We about to start another mix.
Yes.
Once again with the cream team in the building.
Right.
Right? Also, like no other podcast, you don't see it like us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's very good to subscribe, because we got a different feel to us. You know what I'm saying? We starting off or whatever, but we need y'all to subscribe and get us to another level. You know what I'm saying?
Tell your friend to tell a friend to tell your sister and their mom and their daddy and another friend.
And a cousin too.
That's right. We keep it raw
And your sidekick.
and raw and okay.
Whoa. He said
And
sidekick.
raw and raw. So we give the real talks, truths, and we like to cover all angles. Right
Exactly.
here, baby.
Not
Raw
just
Report
one.
Mix Show.
You know what I'm saying?
So always like Primetime said, follow the IG, follow the Facebook, Twitter. We're everywhere. Everywhere. And every other Wednesday we will be live right here on our YouTube Raw Report
Hot topics,
Mix
baby.
Show. That's right.
Hot topics.
Ring
Also-
that bell.
And check out our past shows as well. We've got some shows
Yes.
up there, you know what I mean? So
We do.
on our weeks off, you know what I mean? Take a look at our other shows and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And give us feedback. We always want feedback, guys.
We love that shit.
100%.
So now DJ Jinx, the Cream Team, is gonna break it down for us as we finish the show, guys.
Yeah, so right now I was gonna play some music, you know what I mean? And since y'all are still in the chat room, you guys can just play some music. You guys can keep chatting and hear some music in the background. And what do you say? You guys want to jump in the chat room as well? Talk to some of the people?
Let's
So
go.
our hosts are gonna jump in. We got Coco and Brizzy's been in there already. You know what I mean? He's been killing it in there. So yeah, Coco and Primetime. If you guys want to jump in the chat as well,
I'm gonna see what's going on.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
sir.
So you know, the podcast is not done. Listen to some music and continue the combo. Yeah, so let me start with the song I wanted to start with.
Yeah.
You're in the mix with Jinx from the Cream Team Sound.
Yeah, the Cream Team Sound, you know.
I said certified free, 7 days a week. Wet ass pussy, with that pull I get weak. Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. Give me everything you got.
Yeah, we raw.
Yo, nigga, catch a charge.
Duchess, I'm loving this right now.
Put this pussy right in your face.
Oh, Russia's extra.
Credit card, hop on top. I never taste, now he got ready.
I walked in the corner with the
Probably just finishing up now. Raw, 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 raw.
You already know.
That's right.
In the corner with your money on my face.
Oh yeah.
She might get it poppin' on my wife before.
There we go.
We see the hype outside.
I'm loving the comments, guys. I'm loving it.
Straight to the couch. We put the mic outside. Edit shit out. You letting the scouts outside. We running this couch. Ain't no control in the game. They never leave. I got tats over my veins, cause that what I bleed. She drink a lot of the bourbon, and she from the street. We got control of the flows in her. We heard that you wave and drop. We flood in the drop. Heard that your hood outside. We added some rounds. We having the goods outside. Move it in and out. You letting the scouts outside. We running the scouts.
Nigga, the cops outside. Lock up the house. We keep the team on high. Some gold in their mouth. Nigga, the Porsche outside. Put up the top. She one of my most outside. Bringing the shots.
Ain't no cap in my rap. I really see in the trap. I'm really serving the packs. I'm really moving like that. Ain't no cap in my rap. Y'all nigga running the rats. And no, we don't fuck with no rats. So I won't fuck with no cats. Ain't no cap in my rap. I really see in the trap. I'm really serving the packs. I'm really moving like that. Ain't no cap in my rap. Y'all nigga running the rats. And no, we don't fuck with no rats. So I won't fuck with no cats. Ain't no cap for real. Lamb truck in the Richard Mill. But the Bentley nigga no deal. 83 in the trash deal. One of the racks, nigga no cap. Need a real freak, can you move it like that? Made back $250,000 in my lap. Fuck one time, then I sent it a million map. Say you rich, I was cap. You ain't seen the trap. Ain't no cap in my rap. Ain't no cut in my seal, nigga. Too much money can't deal with you. I'ma boss you a little nigga. Why you kept it, can chill with you. Ain't no cap in my rap.
I actually didn't
I
take
really
it.
see in the truck. I'm really
Yeah, I heard.
I'm really moving like that. Ain't no cap in my rap.
I gotta take it
That
back.
nigga run the rats. And no one fuck with no rats. So I was fuck with no cats. Ain't no cap.
Don't forget to catch us, guys, 2 Wednesdays from now. That's September 2nd for our next show live right here on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that bell, and let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you guys want to hear about, what topics you want to touch on, because what makes us different, we're controversial.
Don't worry, we're gonna get into that other topic with celebrities and all that you guys really want, you know?
Oh,
but we gotta take everything
in. Yeah.
Like Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh my God.
Please.
Please what?
We protecting people out here.
One thing about it, I'm a stain. I'm not the one. I think you should fuck with telling you know in advance.
Yo, by the way, all these artists are hurting too. No concerts.
None. Well, I mean, there's a few here and there, but not really. No.
And nobody want to challenge me in PlayStation, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not the one. I think you should fuck with telling you know in advance.
All the gamers out there.
You can get left for the tan. He a junkie for the dumb shit. Want all the smoke like a strand. Just protecting the brain.
Okay.
Too much to count right now. I don't got enough hands.
That's weird.
They decent. I know that they wishing I give them a
Weird.
chance. Never get tricked at the spot. You reach, I blank some stank. I'm down to the cane. For protecting the brain. Just protecting the.
Big drip, big drip. I'm gonna love with a lit bitch. Ayy, crip shit. Ayy, she
Take my pen.
lit dick. Ayy, ayy, ayy. Couple
No.
bitches I get lit with. Couple bitches I get lit with.
It's okay, it's okay. I'm just kidding. It's okay. No, take it. I don't need it.
Loving the style. They loving the style.
Okay.
Send me the Addy, I'm hunting down. Send me the Addy, I'm hunting down. Bow,
It's not over. It's not over till I say it's over.
Bitch, me on baby
Right?
24 cars in the line. I let her ride around. They catch you with me, you should count them out. Push it up, minimize. I got the Glock inside. Hope we don't try. It's a homicide. Shooters with me.
God, I have to go get one still.
You heard he did that.
Oh, you got Facebook?
You gon' hear when he get wet.
You want this?
I go Dior, so crazy.
You ready?
Get in my safe.
Stop it!
Big trip.
Add me right now. You're done.
Hey, kick shit.
Oh.
After I nut, you can dip, bitch. Hey, right wrist. Bust down, oh yeah, you lit. Hey, left wrist. Bust down, oh you get lit. Hit it, flip it, hit it, split it, quit it, get up, miss it.
What?
Hit it, flip it, hit it, split it, quit it, get up, miss it. Hey, hit it, split it, hit it, split it, drill it, come up, miss it. Hit it, split it, hit it, split it, quit it, get you with it. Hit it, flip it, hit it, split it, quit it, get up, miss it. Hit it, flip it, hit it, split it, quit it, get up, miss it. Split it, hit it, split it, drill it, come up, miss it. Hit it, split it, hit it, split it, quit it, get you with it. School couldn't wait till I got out of class. You scared of fucking shit. Before all this hot shit, I was getting banging and doing half piece of shit. And I'm free from the shop, but I ball like a king up in Cali and shoot like Stojakovic. Keep applying that pressure, I go on the run. It ain't no letting up, ain't no stopping it. Had to tell my little brother to chill, gotta stay in the house, come outside, he be popping shit. You ain't heard about us? Well, you need to go watch the news, niggas know we be dropping shit. Got the feds on my ass in the hood, cause they think I'm the one who been banning them blocks and shit. I'm just focused on music, they say my last tape was a classic, but I got some hotter shit. I be rocking the show, or if I'm not up in the studio, I'm fucking his cash off. Don't you know Polo G skinny tall with the dreads, till a nigga be rapping his ass off. Yeah, I heard she got surgery, still wanna clap from the back just to see if her ass off. Go like Hollywood rocks, we blast out. Try to throw us some bullets, but we made a film like
Custom. Me and my niggas did tips. So rock by the fifth like Diddy. Run through the town like Diddy. I don't know what the hook gon' be. I just know that this a club banger. Ass shaking in the club baby. Yeah, this just another club banger. Gusto. Me and my niggas did tips. She rock by the fifth like Diddy. Run through the town like Diddy. I don't know what the hook gon' be. I just know that this a club bank. Ass shaking in the club, baby. Yeah, this just another club bank.
Been over, then I murder. Pop gunner if you want your burger. Oh, baby, you be lying in your person. I be here, so you bound in person. I can't even lie, you ain't my type. You ain't even know that's fine in person. I can guarantee you if you my kind, she got every bag you can imagine. Big house, I can really be bragging. 100,000 in my mouth, like what's that? And not the big cheap tea that's embarrassing. Yeah, you can keep it in Paris. My bitch is probably one of the baddest. Good girl, turn her into a sad. This bitch got a problem in traffic. We can't do imagine she wagging.
We don't get no fuck. No. We don't get no fuck. We don't get no fuck. No. We don't get no fuck. Out in public, and we run shit. Out in public, and we run shit. Get right. I got too many diamonds on. I look awesome. Ice. Get right. Yeah. After I hit that whole shit.
Oh yeah, make sure you get our merch, you know what I'm saying? The Raw Report team going hard, you know what I'm saying?
Either send us an email at rawreportlive@gmail.com or hit us up in the DMs IG to place your orders. We got specific.
I know you guys are feeling this.
For the ladies,
right?
And we got specific fits for the men. Can you show Briz? Yep, show the back again. We got our social media listed here. All right, turn around, please. And then we got this right here. All right, so like I said, hit us up at rawreportlive@gmail.com or hit us up in the DMs in our IG page at rawreport_mixshow. And we will get those orders placed for you guys.
I know how to bag with the remix. These boys are my sons like Phoenix. My city and state never ever seen this. Jimmy Neutron, I'm a young boy genius. On a futon, I'ma give it that penis. When it's just done, I'ma feel.
Y'all playing PlayStation right now. Y'all know y'all can't mess with me on this.
And I just like to make a note that it said you lose.
I know I lost. No. That's no. Hold on. That's no. It's 1-1. It's 1-1.
Oh, it's 1-1. Player 2.
Hold on for all my Street Fighter fans out there. You know what I'm saying?
Don't kill me. Are you Ryu?
No, I ain't Ryu. You know I'm messing with our birdie, the birdie game, just like the Raw Report game.
Better win.
What's the win right now?
So when she pull up on me, I know what she about to say. What's poppin'?
Oh yeah, got it.
Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass that bitch like Stockton. Just joshing. We spend this holiday locked in. My body got rid of them toxins. Sports in the top 10. I'm feeling like I feel like I'm prince.
Hey, Big Two. You know who's in the building? Cream team.
Don't know how it feels. I wanted to flex the I'm making a flip. My life is a
Raw Report.
If y'all don't know about Toronto DJs, here's one of them.
We got Jinx on the ones and twos.
On top of my dreams.
Always bringing the tunes, I'm telling you.
And also look out this Saturday. We got a big barbecue down at the beach, Woodbine Beach. You know what I'm saying? It's going from 1 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Cream Team's in the building. We got Perfect Storm in the building.
Got it.
Sound in the building.
Let's go.
Who else got it there? We got Supertone in the building. So you know what's going down still.
Okay.
This Saturday, Woodbine Beach, on the beach.
Yeah,
I'm close there. I might go down there still.
You know, I've been meaning to come. You got all these parties going on.
Hey, y'all bringing a mask though?
I know we were saying no parties, but I mean,
we human though.
they social distance at his party, so you know what I'm saying. You read my mind, I think, Briz. Are you doing what I think you're doing?
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna tell you.
This guy.
Do it from there, because you get the whole setup. There, got it.
Teacher Michael Joseph 4-5 done them run them down world boss world. Hey, come shake your ass. World boss world. World boss world.
Me feel like Adi, better than everybody. I feel nobody. I can't trust nobody. Me money to like me in Illuminati.
Yeah, once again, catch us next week. Next 2 weeks. September 2nd. We out of here though.
That's right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Catch us on September 2nd. Raw Report out.
I'm still winning.
that.